Sunday. It is October the 8th. It is 7:07 p.m., at least here in Southern California. And today I wanted to talk about shifting and specifically about three subjects that folks talk about in shifting. There's perma-shifting, there is shifting to a fictional universe, and DRs, or what are known as desired realities, when one can shift to where they want to go. And that also kind of includes scripting. I wanted to talk about this because I've been on the subreddit, and I always like going on there just to see if I can assist folks in some way. And I see these subjects coming up a lot in discussions, and people post a lot on it. And I feel like my point of view, my perspective is a unique one because, as many of you know, when these experiences started happening to me, I had no idea what shifting was. I didn't really know what it was. It wasn't until actually someone from Amino approached me on my channel and said, "Hey, we think this is what is happening to you," that I started thinking about shifting, and I started going on the subreddit and things like that. So I think the other aspect to this, and something I didn't really think I was going to talk about until right this moment, is I have continued to see this sort of, animosity with each group of the people who can astral project, the people who can, shift. These two communities, they seem to go at each other. In fact, I just saw a comment in the subreddit for astral projection where there was an individual who basically had said that they wished that there wouldn't be any more mention of shifting in the astral projection subreddit. And I will again say something that I have said before. I said this early on as someone who I guess is sort of a hybrid because I can do both. I think both communities need each other. I think that there is a deeper connection between astral projection and shifting, deeper than we even understand at this point. I think that shifting, as it is called, or I call it beyond body, is perhaps the next step in the spiritual evolution of, say, astral projection, I guess, in a way. It is another step. It is the next step, even though perhaps people in that community don't see that at this point. These are just my thoughts, but I definitely wanted to focus on these subjects because I also see these subjects coming up in the subreddit. And the first subject I wanted to talk about was perma-shifting. Now, people have asked me if I think that perma-shifting is possible. In fact, I've gotten this question a couple of times. Is perma-shifting possible? Do you think it's possible? Okay. Now, of course, these are my own views. This is my opinion. And hey, I have always been very clear on this channel. I don't I don't ever claim to know everything, and I really don't feel that I know much at all. I mean, I have the access to be able to do what I do, and I'm a traveler, but that doesn't make me an expert at any of this stuff. This is just my opinion, and I am guessing that there are people out there that just want to hear what I think. Doesn't mean that it's the right thing, but it just is my opinion. So, is perma-shifting possible? You know what? I can't say that it is not possible. I really can't. I think that anything is possible. The other part to this is I have gone on journeys to places. There's places I can think of, and it's so funny because I have posted so many experiences here. I'm certain in one of my experiences, I have talked about beings or people who come out of nowhere and tell me it's time to go back. Now, This has definitely happened. And it usually happens when I'm having a lot of fun. I remember there was one reality I went to and I was having an absolute blast. I mean, it was so much fun. And this person just came out of nowhere and said, "Okay, it's time to go. It's time to go back." And I was like, "No, I don't want to go back yet. This is so great." But it was time to go back. So I went back. Now, my mom and I discussed this when my mom was still on the planet. One of the things that we discussed in regards to this, after I told her that there were people who would do this, she wondered if a person didn't do this, if a person didn't say, "Hey, it's time to go back," could I stay forever if that was possible? Possibly I could stay forever. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. But the fact that there was someone asking me to, or not asking me, but telling me basically saying, "Hey, it's time to go back," probably means I could have stayed longer. Who knows? So the other question is would I ever consider doing um, permashifting? Would I ever consider permashifting and going someplace and not coming back to the 3D world if it were possible? And my answer is a flat out no. This is my home. It has been a struggle, trust me. For those of you who have been with me on this channel for a long time, I had an accident that almost took my life. I haven't been able to walk correctly ever since that time. It has been very stressful, a very stressful time. But I can also say that without that accident, I would not have created this channel. So I don't know. What I do know is that this is my home and I'm not leaving, I guess, until it's that time, until, everybody's time comes at a certain point when they leave these bodies. When I leave this body, I will move on. But while I still have a body, I'm not going anywhere. So that's the answer to the whole perma-shifting thing. Now, I wanted to talk about the subject of fictional universes like Harry Potter and these other places. I see this on the subreddit a lot. People talk about being able to shift to these universes. And so the first question is, do I think it's possible? Well, I posted an experience I had attempting to shift to a Harry Potter universe. Now, for those of you who have listened to that, that things didn't go the way I thought they were going to go. Let's just put it that way. They didn't go the way I thought they were going to go. It was a very weird and crazy experience, and my suggestion is, if you want to know more about it, then you can actually look it up on my channel about the Harry Potter thing, because I don't even want to really start getting back into it. It was nothing like I thought it was going to be, though. And so, is it possible to shift to a place like that? Well, again, my attempt wasn't. I don't want to call it a failure. It was just different than I thought it was going to be. Does that mean that it isn't possible to do it? No, again, I'm not going to comment on that. I don't know if it's possible or not. I gotta believe that there is probably a universe out there that's like a Harry Potter or some other fictional universe. But my belief is this, and I've talked about this before. If there are fictional universes that one can shift to, I don't believe it's necessarily like the books or the movies or the TV shows. I think a lot of people on the subreddit think that, but I think that these are full universes that have, people, and they have their own personalities, and they're not necessarily the way that writers in this universe describe it. Now, I believe that writers and creators here, people who create shows or create books or whatever, they're able to tap into parallel or other types of realities, and they're able to write from their perspective. They're able to filter those universes through their own imagination. So that's how they're able to do it. So they create these worlds, but it's through them, right? But what is that reality like, or what is that universe like without their influence, without their filter? What is it like just as it is? I don't know if we know. I mean, is it possible? I don't know if people aren't going to like me saying this, but is it possible that in the Harry Potter universe, if there is a Harry Potter in that universe, that Harry Potter isn't actually a very nice person? I mean, who knows? I don't know. But what I'm saying is I would say, if you're thinking about shifting to a place like that, don't have the expectation it's going to be exactly what you think it's going to be. It may be completely different than you're thinking. I can remember when I was trying to do it in the very beginning, that there was a glimpse that I had of a place where people were kind of going around and they were glowing and they had this golden glow to them. And I remember it was just a glimpse. And I was thinking to myself, is that what a wizard really looks like? A wizard has like this golden glow and they walk around like that? I don't know. But it was definitely something that I hadn't imagined before. So I would say this. I would say that, well, if you ask me, would I consider trying it again? I think I may try it again at some point, going to a universe, a fictional universe, just to see what would happen. But again, this goes back to opening up your minds, guys. Open up your mind and don't be so locked in on what you think things are going to be. Be open for anything to happen, because anything could happen. Now, let's talk about DRs, desired realities, and scripting. Now, there's not much I can really tell you about scripting because I've never scripted a day in my life, ever. I've never scripted anything. I know that there are people who are very passionate and very focused on the whole scripting thing, but it's never been my thing. I have talked about my first desired reality, where I went to a place called Scholastic. Now, all I did in this situation was, as soon as I reached that middle space, that in between place that I go to before I'm able to shift or to astral project, the second I got there, I started thinking about going to a place where it was raining. Now, the reason why I did this was because it had been particularly hot in Southern California during the summer, or during the time that I had that experience. I think I had it before the summer, but Southern California is usually a hot place. And so I had it in my mind that I just wanted to go to a place where it was raining. That was it. Rain was my focus. And I remember when I first arrived in this place and I could see the rain through the door. I believe I could hear the rain anyway. And I remember opening the door and seeing the rain, and I was so excited because I was like, wow, this actually works. I was focused on going to a place where it was raining, something very simple, and suddenly I was in this place. And what was really cool about it was that it was so beyond just the raining stuff. Like, it was raining there, but then there was this sea, and it was this storm. And I love storms. I love the rain and all this other stuff. And then I saw a house go out into the sea, and it was sailing on the sea like it was a normal thing. And it was just beautiful. It was such a beautiful thing. It was like a painting. It was amazing. And so, yes, in my mind, it is possible to visit a desired reality. But again, in regards to scripting, I don't know much of anything about scripting. I've never really tried it before, but certainly if there are an infinite number of realities, there must be a place for scripting. But I don't know enough about it to really comment on it. But DRs are cool. I would say my recommendation would be to keep things as simple as possible in the beginning and begin that way. Begin with something simple like rain or a nice sunny day, and then you just build from there. Like you're just, creating your own picture or something like that, and then see what happens. But that has been my experience with these three things. Thank you so much for coming on this Sunday journey with me. And until next time, take care.